Hey guys, it's Lemmingrush. Today we're going to be taking a look at an Object 268 version 4 game on the map. What map is this? It's Empire's Border. Now, I wanted to feature Empire's Border because I have no clue how the hell to play this map, and so I figured, generally speaking, what you do if you want to learn how to play the game is you watch good games on the maps that you have trouble with, and then you see how those happened to try to figure out if you can replicate those. So, here we have Brave Dave 2000 in his Object 268 version 4 on the map Empire's Border. Alright, so to start off, like I said, I have no clue how to play Empire's Border, but for a bit of background information, typically speaking, what I'll do is I'll go to the south. I've never played the north on this map, but generally speaking, what you can do if you play the south is you can catch out people who are playing aggressively, driving into positions, especially if you're in a fast tank. You can drive to J2, try to beat people to that position, and then shoot them while they're either A, driving to fight on the J1 corner, or B, driving to try to catch people out in J2. So for example, Brave Dave is going to be doing that in his 268 version 4, and he's absolutely, you can see he's pre-aiming for light tanks who are trying to take this position. So Dave is going to this position in mind with the, he's going to try to catch people out. Now, that's not going to happen, and what's actually going to happen is Brave Dave, because his vehicle is so fast, is he's going to beat heavy tanks to this corner, and that's pretty if you don't find light tanks on this corner, you will find heavy tanks, generally speaking, on this map who try to go to this position. So what Brave decides to do is, this is really interesting, is he decides to take this position, and basically it's going to make him hull down. So what you can do is, you see this slip right here, Dave's best bet in this type of position, and this is pretty much what he's trying to do, is he's going to hide his lower plate with this ridge right here, and that's going to allow him to shoot at this Tiger with very little risk. And you can see, even though like it's a Tiger 2, if you were fighting tier 10s, you just want to play where Brave is right now. This is absolutely the perfect position. And Tiger 2 driving to position to fight people on K4, Dave is able to catch him out, and there's nothing that guy can do about it. He's obviously not the strongest of players because he is in the middle of the open, but you will catch people out who are trying to make plays in the south if you come to this area. Now, Dave is currently engaging the Scorpion G and the Tiger. He was looking for shots on the Scorpion if the Scorpion poked badly. The Scorpion drove into the open. He's trying to escape the Conqueror, which is fair. And this is where Dave is going to find himself fighting the Tiger. Now, the Tiger manages to do 86 damage with HE. Like I said, he's not the greatest of players. He's shooting HE. And Dave's basically he's going to pick up his first kill because the Scorpion G drives directly in front of him. Now, I personally wish I had enemies that were this bad consistently, but, what can you do? Get lucky sometimes, I suppose. Anyways, he's able to pick up the kill on the Scorpion. The Tiger manages to pen him with HE, which is pretty damn impressive. He bounces the Tiger, so Tiger got lucky right there. And this Conqueror is able to YOLO the Tiger to get the kill. Now, this is where the game gets interesting, and this is where, in my opinion, Dave makes a questionable play. A lot of people, myself included, would feel apprehensive about flanking 5 to 7, however many tanks are in this area right here, with a single tier 10 tank and a 2-shot tier 9, as well as a tier 8. Right now, Dave is choosing to take, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versus 3, at best. And so Dave is making this play, and I would say it's questionable. Now, that being said, like I said, you would never want to make this flank on your own terms. This is very lucky in my opinion. So, but Dave does this push very well, all things considered. So Dave's got a AMX M4 in front of him. He puts a shot into him. But the main thing here that I want to point out is the UDES behind him. So if you're going to make a flank like this where you're have the potential to be flanked by TDs, what you need to do is you need to push away from the person who's behind you. And so he's going to drive forwards. He's doing this to chase down the AMX M449, but that function is to get him away from the UDES who could potentially flank him. And that's why this play works out, because he drives out of a crossfire, so it does work for him. Now, here Dave shows off his amazing aiming skills right there. Should have just taken half a second to aim it, but that kind of goes without saying. I'm sure he knows that after taking that shot right there. He does end up ramming the AMX M449, which makes the AMX hit one shot, and he is able to finish him off, and that's fucking fantastic. Good job to him. Now, this is what I mean by lucky. So generally speaking, if you were to make the play that Dave had made, by the time you were YOLOing the AMX M449, you would have been flanked by a TVP, because generally speaking, the TVP players, they will have the situational awareness to come flank you as you're YOLOing their teammates. That didn't happen. So that's, in my opinion, where Dave got lucky, and that's generally why you wouldn't want to make this play. Luckily, the WZ132, the Progetto, and the TVP were all fapping in the middle, and Dave is going to be able to take advantage of that. He misses out on the shot to the Progetto, and this is, in my opinion, where Dave makes a mistake. If you're in a situation like this, take a look at the context of this fight. Dave is in a position where he can push. Well, this is what he's going to do. He's going to push into these guys. Now, if you look at all the angles that Dave fights against, he's got 2 tanks to his left, he's got a TVP to his right, and he doesn't really commit to fighting the TVP. And then if you also take a look, well, he puts a shot into the TVP. He repairs it, does get the shot. That was a good play. But if you also look at the minimap, he's actually fighting 3 angles right now. If the Progetto was more aware, he would be shooting Dave right now, by the way. But there's 3 angles, and you'll notice that he just got shot at. So that's the Conqueror shooting at him right here. So if you're ever going to push through this funnel, basically that's what it is, you need to watch out for those 3 angles. You need to watch out for where the Progetto was, the TVP, and anyone who's on C9. So keep that in mind. Now, right here, Dave makes an interesting play, and I don't really understand this, but he decides to go towards the enemy base, and he puts a shot into the UDES, and he's able to pick up the kill with a ram right there. So the UDES was flanking, and this absolutely was the right play. What I don't understand is what Dave is going to be doing here. So Dave's decision was to try to run towards the enemy's base, and it's like, fair enough. The enemies, interestingly enough, will have seen him running away. So if the enemies were paying attention to their minimap, they would think Dave is coming from the 0 line, and Dave decides to turn around. Now, this is generally speaking a fight that I would think is questionable, because he's going to be fighting a full HP FE4005, a one-shot TVP, and it's like, this does not seem like a good idea, but he's making this play anyways, and it's like, fair enough. I don't understand it, but it actually works out for him. So he's coming into this position. He loads HE because I guess he's expecting to fight the FE4005, and this, even though I don't like people shooting HE, I think this is the right situation, because right now this FE4005 is a 3-shot to him if he just shot HE, and he's probably a 3-shot anyways if the guy only shoots HE, so he's taking the chance to make this FE a 2-shot, and he's able to put HE into this guy's turret, turns him into a 1-shot, and this is where Dave makes a mistake. He continues to load HE for the second shot. Now, HE, generally speaking, is significantly less consistent, and this fucks Dave over. If he had HE loaded, he could have prevented himself from getting shot by the FV and just got the kill there with minimal risk, but he does get lucky. The FV does bounce him, and now he has to wait 15 seconds to reload to kill this FV. So it's like, mistakes were made, but that's cool. He makes sure he gets the kill, and now he has to deal with a TVP, a Type 4 Heavy, and a Conqueror, as well as the 2-into-A, and all he's got with him is the Arty, and well, he's got 6,100 damage right now. So good game so far. How does he turn this into a win? So I personally, if I was in this situation, I would be inclined to prevent anyone from sitting on B2. I wouldn't really know where the TVP is, but my first fear would be that the enemy team cap out, because that's the correct thing for them to do. So Dave looks like he's thinking along the same lines. He's going to be driving back to base. His goal is presumably to reset anyone who gets on the cap. Now, this is something that's interesting, because I would not have picked up on it, but if you take a look at the map right here, you'll see that this TVP... Fuck. Are you fucking... I'm fucking recording! Fuck! Where was I? Right, the TVP. So if I was in this situation as Dave, I would have thought the TVP. Basically, I would have missed it. This TVP right now, where he was last spotted, if he was going to cap, he would already be on cap. So Dave driving back to... Dave's in a position where he can actually kind of expect this TVP to be either up here or coming behind him right now, based on where the TVP and the timing of the TVP's last spotted. So Dave's driving into a position. I would have made the mistake of assuming the TVP is sort of getting onto cap, but it's actually very reasonable to predict for the that the TVP would be right there. So the TVP puts a shot into Dave, gets the track. Dave does the right thing and doesn't repair that immediately. He saves his repair kit for when he YOLOs the TVP, and that was absolutely the right play. So he was able to YOLO him. Now Dave is down to 5 AP shells. He's got 10 heat. This is when I would be loading heat, because he's got a Type 4 Heavy and a Conqueror left, and it's like he has to deal with that. So Dave makes an interesting play. He decides to turn around. Now, once again, I personally would be expecting the enemies to get on cap. It's reasonable to think that the Type 4 Heavy would be driving towards the cap, because he's a Type 4 Heavy, and to chase down a 268 version 4 and a Type 4 Heavy, like, from where Dave is facing is not reasonable. Like, I would never expect that. So Dave makes this assumption, and it actually works out for him. So he's coming back towards the mid. He's assuming, you can see he's checking these corners very thoroughly. He's knocked down a tree, actually, which works out for him. He's assuming that a tank is coming from here, and that's absolutely the right thing to do. Now, because he knocked down this tree, this Type 4 Heavy has not shot at him, and that allows Dave to fully aim this shot, put a shot into him, and now the Type 4 Heavy is a one-shot. And you know, I would assume that I would be, if I was in a 268 version 4, I would play as if I was a one-shot to this Type 5. Now, like I said, once again, I would expect the enemies to be driving towards my cap circle. So if I was in this position, I would be worried about getting flanked. And I would think that Dave stopping slightly forwards of this bush so anyone flanking him doesn't spot him is the right play. Now, he's driving forwards here. This is just him brawling the Type 4 Heavy. He's looking for a shot on the guy, and he manages to get a very quick shot into the Type 4 Heavy, which allows him to finish him off. Now, if I was in this position, I would expect that Conqueror to be right behind me, because Conqueror is a relatively quick Heavy, and he should be on cap. And this is, you know, this is where Dave does pretty good jobs. So he, in my opinion, gets lucky. I would think the Conqueror would be on cap right now. He is driving towards G4. Now, assuming that Dave has the same information that I have, what I can say is that I think that Dave is making a really strong play here. So I would think that the Conqueror, like I said, is driving towards cap. And from Dave's perspective, the best thing he can do is not approach the cap to reset from the 1-2 line. Why? Because if anyone's on cap, they would expect enemies to come from the 1-2 line. So what Dave is doing is he's driving through the funnel, and in my opinion, the play he's trying to make is he's preparing to reset the cap from A2. So he's probably planning to drive all the way up to A2 to reset the cap and flank anyone who would be expecting him to be on the 1-time. But, alas, the Conqueror makes a play that I would never have predicted, and he's in J2 killing Artie, because, you know, why would you get on cap in a full HP Conqueror instead of chasing down Artie and a 268 version 4? I don't understand it, but that's what the Conqueror did. So Dave is in this position where he's chasing down this Conqueror, and someone gets on cap. So who can you assume is on cap? Well, there's only 2 tanks left, so you know the Artie's on cap. So what Dave is going to have to do is he's going to have to kill the Conqueror, because the Conqueror's probably going to cap right now. At least that's what I would assume. He's probably going to join the Artie, and Dave is going to be chasing this guy down, and he's obviously going to want to try to engage the Conqueror without getting killed by artillery. So Dave expects the Conqueror to be to the left. It's predictable that he's to the right, because he's probably going to cap out. He makes the same shot that he did with the AMX M4, where he only tracked the guy, but it works out. He goes for the ram to try to make the Conqueror a one-shot, and I would think right now probably hugging the Conqueror is the best bet, so Artie doesn't shoot you, because you know Artie's in A2. He might have a shot in this angle right here, and it's just like, it is what it is. Dave decides to back up. He ends up getting distance. That allows him to try to ram the Conqueror, and now he's in this position where he has to kill the Conqueror as quickly as possible, who somehow manages to pen him. And he gets the kill on the Conqueror, which is like totally predictable. And now he has to try to rush back to base to get the reset. Now, this is where I was a bit surprised, because watching this replay, there you go, Artie shoots at him. That's why I think face-hugging the Conqueror would have been a good idea, because if Artie shot at Dave, the Conqueror would have been damaged too, and that might have killed him. So anyways, this is where I was a bit surprised. This map is actually very big, and the amount of time it takes to go from H1 to get a reset is actually insanely long, especially in a tank like this. He is stunned and he is going slowly, but it's something to keep in mind, because if you're fighting people in H1, H2, you actually won't end up getting the reset. And that's unfortunately where this game ends. He's unable to get the kill. Now, before the game's over, I just want to talk about this. If Dave was slightly faster, what he would probably want to expect is, well, this is how I would think is the best way to approach it, if you had the time to do it, because might as well talk about that. If you're going for resets on this map, I would think that the best way to do it is not through the middle of this road. It's to come here, make sure there's no one on the left side of the cap circle, and then to drive up like this, because anyone who's expecting tanks to come through the 1-2 line will probably be looking in this area. So you could use this cover to get shots. Anyways, that's the replay. It sucks. Dave did a fucking fantastic job. He did 8,800 damage. Got 7 kills. He almost got 8 there, and you know, it's just the timing of the situation with that Conqueror, who really should have been on cap. I don't understand it, but it is what it like. If Artie had done more damage, Dave would have been 15 seconds quicker to reset, because he wouldn't have had to wait 3 shots. So If someone had done more damage to that Conqueror, he would have been able to win it. But yeah, let's go take a look at the end plates and we'll call it there. All right, so that was a Mastery Badge. He ended up, I don't know how he got a Mastery Badge with his base XP. He did 2,297 damage with a premium account. That was a Top Gun, a High Caliber, and a bunch of other medals that I should probably figure what these figure out what those are, but they're just inconsequential in my opinion. 8,836 damage, 7 kills, 842 base. So generally speaking, you're not going to get a Mastery Badge with 842 base, which to me, it's surprising. I'll have to look into that. I have no clue how he got that. He ended up profiting 51,000 credits. 14k of those were due to a personal missions payout, and 5k of those were due to achievements. Fucking wargaming with the generous payouts right there. He ended up firing 18 shots. 18 of them hit, 16 of them penned, and that was his game. So he did a fantastic job in my opinion. The plays that were questionable I mentioned. So, anyways, I appreciate, he didn't send me the replay, but it was cool to get a chance to watch it. Thanks for uploading it to Watt Replays because, it's a really interesting insight onto the map. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be doing more videos with other people's replays. I need the practice. So if you want to send me your replay, feel free to do so. You can email me at lemmingrushreplays@gmail.com. I'll put the email in the description of the video because, like I said, I need the practice. I'm bad at these. So feel free to send me your replays. Anyways, yeah, that's the video. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you around. Later, guys. Bye-bye.